Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I am speaking with Dylan Wood. He has just released a fantastic new track called Angel Wings, and I'm super excited to talk to him all about it. Dylan, I want to sincerely thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy life to come on and talk. How are you doing today?
Doing good. And I want to thank you for having me on here as well. You guys have an awesome platform, so it's cool to be a part of it.
I really appreciate that, man. Yeah, I mean, the goal is to bump up artists that are doing things different. And from what I've heard,
Right.
which is basically everything so far, you're doing things different. So you have
Yeah.
this new song out called Angel Wings, and I have like a thousand questions. But the first thing that I really like to start off with is what is the song about? What does it mean?
Okay. So it's kind of about two things. It's on the basic level, I guess you'd say. It's more about just a basic breakup song. But when you get a little bit more in depth into it, it's more kind of from personal experience and stuff like that. But what I'd say it's really truly about is kind of being broken up with and putting everything that you hate about yourself on other people. Like, for example, there's a line in the song that goes, something like you represent every single thing that's been wrong with me. And that's kind of what that's all about. Is it's about, you know me as an artist dealing with stuff from a young age, just like with the ladies and stuff like that, and oftentimes putting everything that I hated about myself and saying it was all their fault when oftentimes I was the one making the mistakes. But also, to kind of add to that, it's also about kind of growing out of that and kind of understanding, trying to stop trying to drink away the shame or trying to get rid of it and just accepting the things you have done and growing your angel wings and becoming a better person.
Nice. So it's got an
Yeah.
optimistic feel to it, at
Right.
least,
Exactly. Exactly. Yes.
which is a
Yes.
huge plus. And you've been quite prolific lately. You mentioned that you're releasing new songs every 2 weeks, which is
Yes, sir.
honestly, like, I'll just be straight up with you, is an insane thing to do because I don't think people realize the amount of work that goes into making one song,
It's
let alone
really hard.
like getting it out there.
Yeah.
So I guess the question kind of becomes is like, where are you finding the inspiration? Like, or not even the inspiration, but the energy to do that.
So to be honest with you, growing up, I guess I'll start there. Growing up, I kind of just been playing guitar all my life and stuff.
Okay.
I used to have a speaker, and then I would plug my guitar into my amp and then play like live versions of Blink 182 shows
Hell
and
yeah.
play along with them. So I've always been into music for a long time. But
Sure.
about 2.5 years ago or so, I had a few pretty problematic bad things happen in my life that kind of shook up my whole life basically, and had to start from zero. And from there, really the only thing that helped me was music. As weird as it sounds, whenever something bad happens in life, to me at least, the worst thing is when someone tries to go and give you a hug and tells you everything's going to be okay. It just kind of makes you feel isolated and feels like there is something wrong, when in reality, more what you want is to feel normal. And for me,
Yeah.
music is the only thing that made me feel normal, that made me feel like how I was feeling wasn't bad. And the way I get my inspiration and stuff like that is, if I can do that for one person, if I can do that for any amount of people, that means the world to me. I mean, the whole reason I'm doing music, and I have it in all my bios and all my social medias and stuff, is I make music in hopes to heal people the same way music healed me. So the inspiration is really endless. I just really want to put stuff out there that I think some people are a little bit more embarrassed or scared to say, that I think most people want to hear be said because they don't want to feel so alone. And if I can make someone feel more normal, then great. And
Yeah,
I
man.
never end up running out of inspiration for that type of stuff.
I fully agree. And honestly, like, that's for me what music is about. It's about being
Right.
vulnerable. It's about putting yourself out there. The craziest part is that, like, 99.9% of the people that listen to your music aren't going to know you on a personal level.
Right.
They're just
Right.
going to see the artist name, they're going to see the title name, and they might listen to the lyrics and they might not. They might just listen
Yeah.
to the music for the way that it
Yeah.
makes them feel. But for the people that actually do take the time to connect the dots and see what it's about, like, you don't know the power that you have to actually make people feel better. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's
Right.
it's a wild thing.
It's beautiful. It's
It
something
really
great,
is.
Yeah.
Do you have any outside like collaborators, like anyone to help out with the production, or is
Yeah,
it
I
is this
do.
you? Okay, okay,
I
cool.
do. I do. I have two guys I work with mainly. I have my one buddy. His name is Glory Keys, and then he's my producer for most everything I do.
Nice.
Not all of it, but most of it. And then I have my engineer, who I work with very closely. His name, he is Mystic X Records, I think, but we've
Okay.
been working pretty much since I started.
Got it.
I put out, I think, like 4 songs completely on my own. They were all pretty trash. And then my
I mean,
producer, I mean, you got to
don't
give
beat
yourself time
yourself
to
up.
suck, you know?
That is
Yeah.
true. They can't
Yeah.
all be winners.
Yeah. But I started working with that guy, Glory Keys, like I mentioned, and he kind of took me under his wing. He showed me everyone he knew. He got me hooked up with the engineer guy. And from there, it's just been us three really just doing every track over and over and over. And we are finally at a point now where stuff is on schedule and good to go. For a long time, doing the every 2 weeks was a nightmare. I'd be,
Yeah, that's
yeah, it took a while. It took a
right.
while. Yeah, but what now we got a schedule where we're like about 3 weeks ahead. So I have a song getting mixed right now when that one just came out 2 days ago.
Got
And then I
it.
have a song getting recorded today. So we're kind of on a steady cycle of keeping things moving.
Nice.
But
Are you
those are really the two people I work with.
okay? Are you in similar areas, or is this happening remotely?
No, that's kind of a difficult thing. They
Right.
live all the way on the other side of the world, so our time zones are way different. So I'll be having to wake up at 3 in the morning to get a song done. They got to stay up stupid late at night sometimes, but it's kind of the fun of it, you know?
Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
I mean, it makes you feel like an artist. You know what I
it
mean?
does.
You're
It
putting the
does.
work in. I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I'd say most of your music is based in hip hop and rap.
Right,
Like,
right.
but do you have any plans to maybe experiment, try new avenues? I know you mentioned Blink 182, so obviously like there's a pop punk angle to it, but I don't know.
Right.
What do you think for the future?
So really, if I could explain what I'm trying to do, really what I want to do is just kind of meld the melodic rap side of things, which I think has gotten so extremely stale over the last few years.
I fully
And
agree.
just, yeah, and try and do something a little bit different with it and try and give it more of like, as opposed to writing a rap song, like a rap song, I try and take like the rap beats with like the certain guitars I like that kind of give me that type of vibe,
Sure.
and then almost write it like something like a Paramore song or Blink 182 song or
There
Sum
you go.
41 with that kind of style. Um, but I mean, that also goes into a lot of different stuff. Like my artist name is Dyl4n Wood, but I have a 4 instead of an 8. Whole
Right.
reason I did that was because like Blink 182 and Sum 41. I didn't want to
Love
do
that.
just Dyl4n Wood. So I figured that'll make me stand out a tiny bit extra
Love
and
that.
kind of to my roots, you know. But I speak what you were saying. I do have a song that came out 2 weeks ago now. It's called My Way Out. That one is a pretty heavy rock song. That
Sure.
one is a pretty heavy rock song. So I do intend on doing more kind of alternative rock style stuff with like 808s and stuff like that in the future. Yeah,
Sweet. Honestly, I think it really comes down to whatever you're feeling, especially for someone
exactly.
who's like an emerging artist and they're finding their sound. It's tough because you want to have fun with it. You don't want it to
Right,
feel like a job. Like, it's your outlet to be creative and do kind of whatever you want. And
right,
ultimately, you're spending the time and the energy. You shouldn't have to make something because someone told you this is what you need to make.
right.
So,
And to speak to that, it's kind of a weird situation, you know, as an artist. I don't know how it is for everyone else, but I have to have like a bank of at least like 10 to 15 beats already bought because
sure, sure.
I have to listen to them. Sometimes
Right.
if I force myself into a certain type of song, it just doesn't work. But
I
if
get
you
it.
keep listening, you'll get a song done in like 30 minutes, you know?
So I'm saying I don't think people
Yeah.
realize that it's not just like, let's make a song today and
Yeah.
then okay,
Yeah.
now what? No, there's so much planning and managing and marketing and all
Or
that crap.
even just what's on your mind, you know? Yeah.
Totally, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's whatever you're feeling. And there's so many different parts of making music, from like the recording to the production to like the
Right.
finally being done with it. Is there something that you look forward to the most in the process? The thing that makes it feel like, oh, this is actually worth it for me?
Honestly, the I hate all of it until it's done. Putting it out is the most
Okay,
stressful
cool.
thing ever. I
It's a
don't
good
know why.
answer.
The day of the drop is so hard on me. I'm
Yeah,
constantly checking everything, making sure I didn't forget anything. Got to make sure everything I set up for marketing is set up right and everything's going to lead to where I need
get
it to
it.
lead. I had like, for example, I had put out I dropped like, I think about a month ago or something, one of those songs. And I had just set up my new email and everything for my music.
Sure, sure.
And once I set it up, I realized everything I had put it on the email was incorrect. So I had to go through and change everything. But it's one of those things where it always
Sure.
happens on a drop. But to be honest with you, once it's done and once I let it sit for 2 days, I usually don't look at anything for about the first 2 days just because I will be stressing out.
Sure.
Um, Once I look at the comments and stuff, though, it's the greatest feeling ever. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
everyone gets one or two negative comments, but generally speaking, mine are so awesome. It makes me so happy. And I have like I don't have that many followers or anything like that, but the people I do talk to on Instagram that reach out to me, it is so cool to have a genuine connection with people who like really connect to stuff, you know? And
Totally.
that's the best part. That's the best part. Is like the week after it comes out.
Oh, I get it. And
Yeah, yeah.
honestly, I firmly believe that there is a baseline level perfectionism in any artist. It
Right,
doesn't really even need to be music. It can be
right,
painting or graphic design or whatever it is. But it shows that you care. It shows that
right.
you actually give a shit about your music and that the product that comes out there. I also think that it's so much more difficult on a, I guess, yes, you are working with collaborators, but at the same time, you're a solo artist. Like
Mm,
your name is on it. So if
right,
it sucks,
right,
which it doesn't, but if it sucks, it reflects on Dylan Wood, not on
right. Not anyone
the
else.
whatever.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it really is up to you to be the person to be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna stress out over this. My ass
Right,
is on the line. And that's kind of what it comes
right.
down to.
But I think, in all honesty, I think any successful artist, I could be wrong about this, but I think there's a certain level of anxiety you have to
Yeah,
have a fire lit under your ass, or otherwise you won't do that great, or you won't keep
feel the
pushing your stuff,
same.
you know?
Totally. Well, it shows that you care. Like I said, it shows that you
Exactly,
care. If you're an
exactly.
artist
Yeah,
that, like, I think it's a different situation of like a truly independent artist who's figuring it out on their own day by day.
right.
Because there's no playbook. There's no step
No,
1 to 5. It's just like, oh, okay, what do I do today to maybe get a new person to hear my music?
right,
But
right,
once you make it to the level of like, mainstream success or whatever it is, then you have 100 different producers and 100 different
right,
ghostwriters, and then it's kind of just your name, and it's going to be a baseline level of good
right,
because there's
right,
so much more
right.
on the line. So I pray that you get to that point. But for
Me and
now,
you
it's like
both, man. Yeah.
the anxiety is the fire under you that's keeping it going.
The thing I kind of always think about though, is like a Big Sean lyric. He says it's not about the trophy, it's about what it took to grab it. And I think that's really, it's more
There you
about the
go.
hunt than it's about the kill, you know?
I love
And I
that.
think the stressful nights are what makes it all worth it. It sounds stupid, but I think
It's not.
the times I've loved it the most are the times it's been the roughest and the times I've been the most scared of failing or something like that, you know?
Well, it
To
makes
see
you a
something
stronger
pay off is
person.
great. Right, right.
Right. And I also think that it translates into other parts of your life, like whatever
I
your
agree.
career is or whatever you're trying to be. Like the down times are the ones that obviously are not great and the ones that you'll probably remember the most, but they make you a
Right,
better person in the end. Just like
right.
remember when things were tough and I couldn't get that lyric out or whatever it is, and
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
you figure it out. Now, for the person that's going to listen, like, is there something that you want your music to say about you? Like not an overall message, but just something that, like, when they listen, you want them to confide in a way.
To kind of speak on what we were saying earlier, I think it kind of just comes back from what I was inspired from. I think, generally
Okay.
speaking, I think the way I kind of make most of my songs, I try and do it on more of like a poppy kind of optimistic most of the time kind of beat. And I
Okay.
usually have darker lyrics about stuff. And I think really the whole thing I'm trying to do is with that juxtaposition of the beat and the lyrics itself is more just try and make people feel normal. And the fact that just because you're feeling all these sad ways or these sad emotions, or you feel like you don't want to be here or you're not comfortable in your own skin or whatever, there's still a way to feel normal about that. I think that most people
Sure.
feel alone. I think most people aren't comfortable talking about that. And I think, especially, I know for myself, like I'm still pretty young. I mean, like a few years ago, I was in high school, but I remember just being in high school, having a really hard time with that type of thing and feeling like I just wanted to be something that I just so was not. And I think a lot of the times, really what I want people to find in my music is that they should be who they are and be comfortable with who they are. And it's okay to be sad sometimes. It's okay to have emotions that you're embarrassed to even say that you're thinking. I think we all do. And I think really what I want people to get ultimately is to feel okay and feel normal and feel like they have someone who can maybe not fully understand, but gets kind of what they're going through, if that makes sense.
No, that's a great answer.
Yeah.
Seriously, if there's one thing that music needs, it's for people to feel comfortable in it and to
Right.
find that relatability. I totally understand.
Yeah.
Now we're recording this basically at the end of June, which means we're at the halfway point of this year, which is
Right.
crazy to say. So I want to take a look at hypothetically the next year of your life.
Okay.
What are some lofty goals that you'd like to hit? Some things that you might have planned, or just like some things that you would like to happen overall?
So I guess in about, if I see where I want to be in about a year, um, To be honest, I'm just kind of taking it a day at a day at a time. I'm trying not to get too far ahead of myself. I don't want to set goals that are unrealistic or anything like that. But realistically speaking, um, currently, really only the big place I push is SoundCloud. I do have my music on pretty much every other platform through DistroKid or whatever.
Sure.
But I mainly just push through SoundCloud. My SoundCloud is doing way better than I thought it would be doing. So now I really want to start pushing other platforms, start getting on playlists on Spotify and stuff like
Totally.
that. So hopefully I can start getting actually paid for some of the stuff.
Hmm.
But other than that, man, really the whole goal is to just get better and better and better. And hopefully, I've only been doing this right now for a little bit less than a year. In July, it'll be a year total. So
Awesome.
I'm hoping in a year's time, I'll be ready, to start doing shows, start going out and meeting people, start actually doing more networking. My whole goal really right now is just have a killer catalog, have like a good 30 songs that I can say I'm super proud about before I start really putting all my chips in. If I have
Totally.
something I'm really proud about, then I'm totally ready to put all marketing in. But I want to make sure I have a few more really good songs before I start making any huge moves, if that makes sense.
I completely understand. That's
Yeah.
that's the thing. There's like one person listens and they're like, man, this guy had like 3 songs and they were great,
Right.
but I
Right.
needed more. And then they forget because music nowadays is kind of a dime a dozen.
It's
And
so
it's
fast.
it's not
Yeah.
great. But for you and your output and like your outlook, I know you're saying you're taking it a day at a time, but at the same time, it kind of seems like you do have a long-term outlook on this.
Right. Well, the thing I think about all the time, and I don't think people realize this, I think, the type of people who blow up on TikTok or blow up overnight, like really blow up overnight, like they've done
Sure,
three
sure.
songs and are huge. I think that is the worst thing that could possibly happen to someone's career. I think
I
a
agree.
lot of the times people think it's so great and that's cool. You made some money and stuff like that. But if what you're in it for is, to like
Yeah,
make a
man.
change and like make a real dent in the scene, that's really hard to do. I mean, you see so many people come in with a few songs and then fall off next year and you never hear about them again.
It's true.
And I
It's the
think the best way is
longevity.
slow and steady. It's slow and steady. Yeah.
I could not agree more. And as someone who
Yeah.
spends way too much time scrolling on TikTok,
Yeah.
I can fully agree with that. Being like, yeah, you hear a song and you hear it 100 times and then you get sick of it. Let's be honest.
Right. Right.
And then you never want to listen to anything that person came out with again. There's definitely
Yeah.
advantages, don't get me wrong. Like people will hear you, but again, yeah, if you have 2 songs and one of them is the TikTok song,
Right.
chances are that people aren't really going to go
Very
and
few come
explore
out of that
more.
doing good.
Yeah, fully get
Yeah.
it, man. I have a couple more questions for you. I
Let's do it.
want to know, what are you listening to in your free time? Is there anything that's been on your personal playlist that you're like, guys, got to check out this artist? They're
Yeah.
amazing.
There is a guy that I don't understand how he is not way bigger. I mean,
I say
he's
that
somewhat
so
big.
often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy Drippin' So Pretty. He's out of
Oh, okay.
California. He's a killer,
Yeah.
killer. I don't understand why he's not huge right now. I mean, he's relatively big. He's got like 100,000 people on following on Spotify or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, not anything to scoff at, but way smaller than he should be. That dude is amazing. Other than that, I got a guy that I've been listening to a lot. He's super low key, low virtual boy. He's
Okay.
really good. He's really good. He's really good.
Love
He's
the
got a
name.
song called Ben 10 that
All right.
is really good. He's kind of sounds like Lil Uzi. But
Got it. Got it.
other than that, man, I listen to a lot of like I guess like emo bands like Brand New, Manchester Orchestra,
Nice.
older punk bands like GBH, not Fugazi. Oh yeah, Fugazi. Yeah, they sing Waiting Room. Yeah, stuff like that. So mostly like I guess melodic emo rap, and then a little bit more of like emo dark like rock, I guess you'd say.
Awesome. I love
Yeah.
the varied style here. And you need to have a varied style.
Right.
If you're listening to the same music that you're making, then you can't expand.
I think a lot of times you're an amalgamation of the top three people you listen to. And I
Very
think
true.
that is kind of a big problem. If you only listen to one type of music, that's all
Yeah.
you're going to do. Yeah.
Totally get it. Dylan, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to talk to you. I have one more question.
Okay.
Basically, the question is for the person that is going to discover you from this, and for the
Okay.
person that is going to listen to your music for the first time, what is an opening message that you'd like to say to them?
That's a really good question, actually. You kind of stumped me a little bit. I'd say, to be honest, if this is the first time you're going to listen to my music, I'd say, go in with an open mind. I mean, try and, just going with an open mind. If you love it, great. If you don't, no hard feelings. Music is so subjective. I don't blame you if you don't. There's plenty of music everyone loves that I hate, but just going with an open mind. And if you love it, message me, tell me what you think. I'd love to hear from anyone who supports me. I try and support everyone who supports me. So um, other than that, yeah, I mean, just have an open mind. That's all. Because I think my music's a little bit different than people would expect. But
Sure. No, I
yeah.
think that's a fantastic answer and a great way to close this out. I want to plug your music for you one more time.
Okay.
The song is called Angel Wings. The artist name is Dyl4n Wood. And don't worry, we're going to have links so that people can listen and follow along and share and do all that good stuff. But I also say follow along specifically because of this guy's release schedule, which is just wild. There's always something new coming out.
Always. Yeah.
Keep tabs on what's coming. But yeah, man, I want to thank you so much again for your time. This has been a great
Thank
chat.
you. Yeah, it really has been. I appreciate you too, Ben.
You're very welcome. I hope to speak soon and have a great rest of your day.
You too, man. Take it easy.
Talk to you later. Bye bye.